Welcome to Thai Movie Recap. Tonight, we're diving into a story that isn't about ghosts or gangsters or gods. It's about something smaller, softer, something we all remember, a first love. This is A Little Thing Called Love, or as Thai audiences call it, Sing Lek Lek Ti Riakwa Rak, a story about a quiet girl, a school uniform, a senior boy, and the courage to change herself for love. Let's go back to the heat of a Thai summer, to a small town where the days were long and the afternoons smelled like chalk dust and sunlight. Nam was never the girl people noticed. She wasn't the prettiest. She wasn't the funniest. She was just Nam. 13 years old, hair cut too short, braces shining when she smiled. She and her three friends, Faye, Nim, and Gee, were the quiet girls who sat at the back of class, scribbling notes and daydreaming. But that day, that ordinary day, Nam saw him. Nam, who's that? Faye, that's Shone, senior, grade 10, captain of the football team. Nim, he used to model for a school poster. Gee, don't even think about it, Nam. He's way out of your league. Shone, the boy who made every girl in school fall silent for a heartbeat. His smile, the way his hair fell across his forehead, the easy kindness in his eyes. And in that moment, something small began in Nam's heart. A flutter, a warmth, the first spark of something she didn't yet understand. Nam tried to act normal, but you know how first love feels, like carrying a secret fire in your chest. She'd sneak glances across the classroom. She'd walk slower past the football field, pretending to tie her shoelaces just to see him play. One afternoon, Shone picked up a football that rolled near her feet. He smiled. Just that, a small, casual smile. Shone, sorry, that ball almost got you. Nam, stammering. No, it's okay. And that night, she couldn't sleep, because for the first time in her life, someone like him looked at her. Nam's friends were her partners in crime. One day, they found a mysterious love manual, a teen magazine that claimed to have 7 steps to make any boy fall in love with you. Faye, reading dramatically. Step 1, improve your looks. Step 2, be confident. Step 3, catch his attention. Nam, nervous laugh. You think this will work? Gee, we'll make it work. For Shone. And so began Nam's transformation. New hair, fairness cream, contact lenses that made her eyes shine brighter. She even joined the English drama club, just to get a little closer to him. Of course, things didn't go smoothly. Her first time wearing high heels ended with her tripping in front of half the school. Her makeup melted under the Thai sun. But she laughed, because deep down, it felt like she was becoming someone new. Nam had no idea that joining the drama club would change everything. The teacher announced the next school play, Snow White, and to everyone's surprise, Nam was cast as Snow White. Friend, with Snow White? Really? Nam, maybe they ran out of pretty girls. But when Shone, yes, Shone, volunteered as the photographer for the play, Nam's world tilted. He was there, camera in hand, smiling at her from the side of the stage. Shone, teasing. You look great in that costume. Nam, blushing. Really? I feel silly. Shone, nah, you're glowing. And that photo, that one picture, would stay with her for years. As time passed, Nam didn't just change on the outside. She started to shine in her studies. She ranked higher every semester, from middle of the class to top 5. Teachers noticed, friends noticed, even Shone noticed. Hey Nam, you're doing really well. Keep it up. Thanks. Sometimes that's all love gives us, small words that echo forever. But what Nam didn't know was that love can be quiet and cruel and slow burning. Because not every story of first love ends the way we dream it will. Previously, we watched Nam take her first brave steps toward love, from the shy, awkward girl no one noticed, to a Snow White who made even the sunlight pause. But love isn't always a fairy tale. Sometimes it's a mirror, showing you how much you've grown and how far away happiness can still feel. Nam was at the top of her class now. Her grades sparkled, her friends cheered, and her teachers adored her. But her heart, it still beat in rhythm with one name. Shone. She'd walk past this classroom every morning, pretending to look for someone. Every time their eyes met, she'd freeze. And every time he smiled, she'd remember it for days. Just once, I wish he'd see me not as a little girl, but as someone he could love. There was a dance coming up, the annual school event where students dressed up, danced, and pretended for one night that the world was simple. Faye and the girls were ecstatic. Nam, this is it, the perfect time to tell Shone how you feel. We'll pick the prettiest dress. You'll knock him out. What if he doesn't like me that way? Then at least you'll know, better than never saying it. For the first time, Nam allowed herself to hope. She wasn't that shy girl anymore. She'd grown, inside and out, and she wanted Shone to know it. That night, the school courtyard was glowing with string lights. Couples laughed, teachers danced awkwardly, and Nam stood near the fountain, clutching her small purse, her heart racing. She'd never looked more radiant. White dress, soft curls, a little perfume. Then, Nam? Oh, hey Shone, you look, nice. You too. You look different, in a good way. For a heartbeat, the world was quiet. It was just the two of them, the music, the laughter, fading away. Nam wanted to say it. The words were right there, trembling behind her lips. I like you. But before she could, Shone, come take a picture with me. Pin, the popular girl from the cheer squad, ran to him, grabbing his arm playfully. You promised you'd dance with me first. Yeah, right, I did. Nam stood there, still smiling, even as her heart cracked softly. It's strange, isn't it? How love can make you both happy and hollow at the same time. After the dance, Nam walked home alone. Her friends were asleep, her shoes hurt, her makeup smudged. And yet, she couldn't cry. She just kept whispering to herself. Nam, quietly. Maybe next year, maybe he'll notice me. She didn't know that Shone, from across the street, was watching her walk away. He smiled, a little sadly, because he did notice her, more than she could ever imagine. He took another picture, her walking under the streetlight, head slightly down. And that photo, he kept. The next semester began and things started to shift. Nam's popularity grew. Boys started talking to her, passing her notes, but every time her heart said the same name, Shone. And yet, every time she tried to talk to him, someone else was there. Pin, his best friend, his football buddies, the noise of everything between them. Coach, good game, Shone. Nam, to herself. He's amazing. But the truth was, Shone never told anyone about the photos he'd been taking. Not his teammates, not Pin. In his room, a whole wall was covered. Dozens of photos of Nam, smiling, reading, tripping, laughing, little moments no one else noticed. Shone, to himself. You have no idea how special you are, Nam. Sometimes love hides not because it's weak, but because it's afraid to lose what it already has. One evening, by the old bridge behind the school, Nam sat alone, throwing pebbles into the water. Shone found her there. Shone. Hey, you okay? Nam, half smile. Yeah, just thinking. Shone. About what? Nam. The future, I guess. Everyone's talking about universities, about leaving. It's scary. Shone, quietly. Yeah, it is, but that's how we grow. Nam. Do you think people change? Shone. I think people find themselves. Maybe that's what changing really means. Nam smiled, a real one, soft and sad at the same time. That moment stayed with her. It wasn't a confession, but it was enough. And then, just like that, graduation day arrived. Flowers, cameras, white shirts covered in signatures and scribbles of friendship. Faye, Nam, over here, let's take a picture. But amid the chaos, Shone stood quietly, holding a small book, the class yearbook. Inside, one page was blank, waiting for one signature. He looked around, no sign of Nam. When he turned, she was already walking toward him, nervous, smiling. Nam. Shone, can you sign mine first? Shone, of course. Nam, thanks for everything. Shone, you too, Nam, you're gonna do great things. They smiled, and that was all. No confession, no I love you. Just silence, filled with everything they didn't say. Sometimes, the hardest part of growing up is realizing that love doesn't always wait for the perfect time. It just happens, quietly, completely, and then it's gone. When you're young, love feels like it will last forever. But time has a way of testing what we think we'll never forget. This is where Nam's journey changes, from a quiet crush to a dream that grows beyond her small school, her small world, and even beyond Shone. The exam results were out. Nam stood in front of the board, heart racing, surrounded by her friends. Teacher. Nam, top of the class again. Congratulations. Faye. You did it, Nam. Nam, smiling shyly. We did it. All of us. Nam's success wasn't just luck. It was years of hard work. Staying up late, whispering encouragements with her friends, and that one boy who unknowingly gave her strength every single day. Nam, inner voice. I'll study hard. I'll make it to Bangkok. Maybe one day he'll see what I've become. Meanwhile, Shone had his own decisions to make. His father, once a famous football player, wanted him to follow the same path. Coach, you've got talent, Shone. University scouts are watching you. Don't waste this. Shone, hesitant. But coach, what if I'm not good enough? Coach, you are. You just have to believe it. But behind that quiet determination, Shone was torn. He wasn't afraid of failing. He was afraid of leaving everything behind, including her. Shone, to himself, I'll remember her like this, smiling, chasing her dreams. And so, life began to move. Nam got accepted to a high school in Bangkok, a scholarship student. Her friends gathered at the train station to say goodbye. Faye, sniffling, don't forget us when you become famous, okay? Nim, yeah, city girls always forget their small town friends. Nam, laughing, teary-eyed, I could never forget you guys. She turned, hoping Shone would be there, but he wasn't. Or at least, she thought he wasn't. From behind a pillar, camera in hand, Shone watched silently. He didn't wave. He didn't call her name. He just took one last photo, the train pulling away, Nam's face half hidden by the window. Shone, softly, good luck, Nam. Bangkok was louder, faster, and lonelier than Nam imagined. But she adjusted. She studied harder, grew bolder, and began to shine. Years passed. She graduated high school, then university, and one day she walked onto a stage, lights flashing, cameras clicking, as a young designer showcasing her first collection. Nam had changed, completely. The braces were gone, the awkwardness too. She wasn't the shy girl from class anymore, but in her heart, there was still one name she never spoke. Back in their hometown, Shone's life had moved on too, though slower, simpler. He didn't become a famous footballer. Instead, he became a photographer, inspired by the same thing that once made his heart beat faster. Shone, looking at an old photo, you still look the same, Nam. Still beautiful, still bright. His mother walked in, smiling knowingly. Mother, you never showed those pictures to her, did you? Shone, no. I think I was too late, because somewhere deep inside, he believed she'd forgotten him, that she'd found someone else. Years later, fate decided to stir again. One night, while flipping through channels, Shone froze. TV host on screen. And tonight, we feature Thailand's rising fashion designer, Miss Nam, the creator behind the White Memory collection. He stared. There she was, older, confident, glowing under the lights, talking about dreams, passion, and the journey that started in a small school by a football field. Shone, whispering, you did it, Nam. You really did. It's funny how life moves, how sometimes when you think a chapter is closed, fate flips the page back open. Because a few days later, something unexpected arrived in Shone's mailbox. An invitation to a school reunion. Shone, reading, Class of 2003 reunion. Come relive the memories. He smiled, unsure if it was destiny or just coincidence. But that night, he couldn't sleep. He opened the old box under his bed, and there they were. Dozens of photographs of Nam. The bridge, the classroom, the train station. Every moment he never said what he wanted to say. Shone, to himself, maybe it's time. Maybe I can finally tell her. But love, even when it returns, never promises to be easy, because the past has a way of holding on to silence. Nam found herself. Shone found his purpose. But what happens when two hearts that once walked together meet again, after all the years that separated them? Stay with me. The rain falls over an old town, a place that remembers every heartbeat, every secret, every photograph that was never shared. Nam and Shone, two names that once belonged to a memory, now about to meet again. It's been almost 10 years since Nam last walked through the gates of her old school. The trees are taller now, the paint is fading, and the echoes of laughter feel like ghosts of a past life. Nam, softly, everything looks smaller. She walks past the old classroom, the broken desk still carved with initials, the football field still shimmering under the drizzle. And in that quiet moment, she wonders if he'll be here. Inside the auditorium, the reunion is alive. Old classmates, older now, louder, telling stories that time polished into nostalgia. Friend 1. Nam! Oh my god, it's really you! Friend 2. Look at you, designer, celebrity, you haven't changed a bit. Nam, laughing politely. Thank you, it's been a long time. She smiles, but her eyes are searching, looking through the crowd for a face she hasn't seen in a decade. And then she sees him. He's standing by the photo display. Older, wiser, still holding a camera. Nam, hesitant. Shone? Shone, smiling. Hey Nam, long time no see. Nam, yeah, a really long time. It's strange how time freezes when old feelings return. They're not teenagers anymore, but something about the air feels the same. The same awkward smiles, the same nervous glances. Shone, gentle. You became what you always wanted to be. Nam, and you you're still taking pictures. Shone, laughs. Guess I never stopped. Nam, I saw your work online, the photo of the bridge. That's our school bridge, isn't it? Shone, quietly. Yeah, you remember it. Someone brings out the reunion album. Old class photos, silly hairstyles, awkward uniforms. They laugh, they reminisce. And for a moment, it's like they're kids again. Nam, looking at a photo. Oh wow, look at my hair. Shone, teasing. I thought it was cute. Nam, laughs. You thought everything was cute. But beneath the laughter lies something heavier, something both of them want to say, but can't. Later that night, when the crowd has thinned and the lights are dim, Shone finds Nam outside, standing near the football field, watching the rain. Shone, you know, I used to take photos here every day. Not of the field, not of the sky. Nam turns. Of what then? Shone smiles sadly. Of you. Nam whispers. What? Shone. Yeah, every time you walked to class or laughed with your friends, I'd take a picture. You never noticed. Nam, why didn't you ever tell me? Shone, looking down. Because back then, you liked someone else. Nam shakes her head. No, Shone, I liked you. And there it was. 10 years of silence breaking in a single breath. Two people, once too young to speak, now brave enough to be honest. Shone, smiling, bittersweet. I guess we both missed our timing. Nam, smiling through tears. Yeah, but maybe it's not too late. He reaches out, not to hold her hand, but to show her something. A picture, the one he took the day she left for Bangkok, her face half hidden behind the train window. Shone, this was the last photo I took of you. I kept it all these years. Nam, softly. You waited this long? Shone, I never stopped looking. They don't say much after that, just stand there, side by side, under the rain, between the ghosts of their youth. Because sometimes, love doesn't need big words, just quiet understanding that it never really went away. The next morning, the rain had stopped. Nam packed her bag, ready to leave once more, but lighter than before. She turns, sees Shone waiting by the gate. Shone. So, back to Bangkok? Nam, smiling. Yeah, but this time, maybe I'll visit more often. Shone, laughs. You better, or I'll take more pictures just to make you come back. Nam, promise? Shone, promise. And for the first time, they said goodbye, not with regret, but with peace. Sometimes, love isn't about being together forever. It's about remembering forever. About growing, changing, and finding the courage to say, I still care. Nam and Shone finally spoke the words they'd kept for years. But is that the end of their story? Maybe not, because some feelings don't end. They just evolve. They say, some people come into our lives only once, but they stay in our hearts forever. For Nam and Shone, time moved forward, but the feeling stayed behind. And sometimes, life gives you another chance to catch up with what your heart left unfinished. Nam's life had become a rhythm of schedules, fashion shoots, interviews, deadlines. She was no longer the shy girl with glasses, but a confident designer whose name appeared in magazines. Yet, somewhere beneath the glitter, she carried a quiet emptiness, the kind that success couldn't fill. Friend, on phone. Nam, we've got the University Design Award meeting tonight. You're coming, right? Nam, half-heartedly. Yeah, I'll be there. But even as she said it, her mind wasn't in Bangkok. It was back in that small town, by the rain-soaked football field, where she'd finally heard Shone say the words she'd been waiting for all her life. Nam, neither did I. Meanwhile, in that quiet provincial town, Shone was still a photographer, but he wasn't chasing fame or money. He was chasing stories, faces of people who smiled through struggle, farmers, students, monks, children. Shone to a villager, hold still for a second. Perfect. He'd turned those images into something beautiful, a photo book about ordinary Thai lives, filled with humility and light. But every time he took a picture, he thought of one girl, the one who changed his definition of beauty forever. Shone, quietly, reading the dedication of his photo book, to the one who taught me to see love through the lens. One afternoon, Nam sat across from a reporter during a magazine interview. So Nam, everyone knows your designs are inspired by real stories. Can you tell us what inspired your latest collection, The First Glance? Nam, smiling faintly, it's about the courage to love someone from afar. The idea that beauty begins with how we see people, not how they see us. That's beautiful. Was it inspired by anyone special? Nam hesitates, smiles sadly. Maybe, but it's more about what that person taught me. And for the first time in years, she allowed herself to smile. Not from sadness, but from peace. Nam. Hello? Voice from event team. Miss Nam, we're inviting you as a guest designer for the Chiang Mai art exhibition this weekend. The theme is Reflections. Can you make it? Nam. Pause, thinking. Chiang Mai? Yeah, I'll be there. Chiang Mai, the same city where Shone was working on his next photography showcase. Life has a strange way of weaving two paths back together, especially when both hearts are still listening. The exhibition hall was bathed in warm light, rows of photos hanging like captured moments of truth. Nam walked through slowly, her eyes absorbing each image, villagers, rivers, sunsets, until one photo stopped her in her tracks, a girl in a white school uniform, smiling shyly, standing by a pool. The caption read, First Love, 2002. Nam, softly, he still remembers. Shone from behind. I hoped you'd come. Nam turns. Shone. Shone. I didn't know if you'd recognize that photo. Nam. How could I not? That was the day I learned how to swim, and the day you saved me from drowning. Shone laughs quietly. Yeah, guess I've been doing that ever since. They stood together, staring at that photo. Two adults, still haunted by the same sweet memory. Nam. Do you ever think what would have happened if we said how we felt back then? Shone. All the time. But maybe it wouldn't have worked. Maybe we needed to grow up first, to understand what love really means. Nam nods. Yeah. Back then we were too young to stay, but now, maybe we're old enough to try. Shone, gently. Are you saying? Nam smiles. I'm saying I don't want to miss the timing again. Sometimes, life gives you a second chance. Not to rewrite the past, but to make peace with it. Shone, laughs. Now I finally got it. The perfect shot. Nam. Of what? Shone. Of you, smiling, without trying to hide it. Nam. You're impossible. They laugh. Not like lovers reunited, but like best friends who finally found the courage to be honest. Shone. So, Miss Nam, how long are you staying? Nam, smiling. Long enough. Maybe forever. As the sun dipped behind the mountains, they walked out of the gallery together. No grand declarations, no dramatic ending. Just quiet laughter and the feeling that love had finally come home. The last photo Shone took that day wasn't of Nam alone. It was of both of them, walking side by side, silhouettes framed in orange light. He titled it, Not the End, Just Another Beginning. Love doesn't always happen when we want it to. Sometimes it takes years, for courage to catch up with the heart, for timing to finally align with truth. Nam and Shone's story reminds us that, no matter how far we go, the smallest thing, a look, a smile, a memory, can change everything. Because that's what love is. A little thing. That changes your whole world. And maybe, somewhere out there, someone still keeps your picture, just waiting for the right moment to say, I never stopped looking. Love doesn't always need a promise. Sometimes, all it needs is presence. Someone who stays, even when words run out. This is how Nam and Shone's story reaches its quiet, beautiful close. A story not about perfection, but about two people who finally found each other again, after life, time, and silence tried to pull them apart. It's early morning in Chiang Mai. The light pours gently through Shone's small wooden house, walls covered in photographs, sunlight scattered across the table. Nam sits quietly, watching him pour coffee. Nam, smiling. You never stopped taking pictures, huh? Shone, grinning. And you never stopped changing the world with your designs. Nam, I didn't expect to see you again like this. Shone, neither did I. But maybe this is how it was always meant to happen. They talk like old friends, like lovers, like strangers rediscovering the same heartbeat. No rush, no fear, just peace. Later, Shone leads Nam into his studio, a small space filled with light, framed memories, and dried flowers. Each photograph tells a story. Of time, of people, of love left behind. Nam stops at one picture, a faded shot of herself in her old school uniform, holding a book and smiling awkwardly. Nam, softly, you still have this? Shone, yeah, it's the first picture I ever took that made me realize what beauty really meant. Nam, you were watching me all that time. Shone, not watching, learning. It's a line so simple yet heavy with the weight of years gone by. Because sometimes, love is about seeing someone so clearly that they become the lens through which you see the world. Over the next few days, Nam and Shone begin working on something together, a joint exhibition combining photography and design. They call it Before and After Love. Nam, your photos show the world as it is. My designs show the world as it feels. Shone, smiling. Together, maybe we can show what love looks like. The town watches curiously as the two work side by side, and quietly, they fall into rhythm again, like they never left the same story they began years ago. Friend, laughing. Nam, you're really here. Nam, surprised? Friend, I thought city people forget us country folks. Her old school friends drop by to see her. They tease her about Shone, about their childhood crush, about how the famous designer ended up back where she started. Friend, see, you can take the girl out of the town, but you can't take the town out of the girl. Host, warmly. And maybe they're right. Sometimes home isn't a place. It's a person who makes you feel seen. The night of the exhibition arrives. Candles light the gallery in warm gold, and the walls tell their story through light, color, and memory. Shone, nervous laugh. It feels strange seeing everything we've been through on display. Nam, strange, but beautiful. In the center of the room stands the main piece, a photograph of two empty chairs under the rain, and above it, Nam's embroidered words, "If love waits long enough, it finds its way back." Shone, to Nam, "That's beautiful." Nam, quietly, "It's the truth." After the exhibition ends, the two sit outside under the night sky. The stars shimmer and the sound of the river hums nearby. Nam, "You know, I used to wish I could turn back time, to tell you what I felt." Shone, "You just did, only now it means more." Nam, "I guess we were both waiting for each other." Shone, "Yeah, but I think love was waiting for us too." And with that, they finally found the quiet they'd both been searching for. Months go by. Nam moves part-time to the town, balancing work between city and home. Shone continues to photograph life, and sometimes Nam joins him. Nam, "You're still bossy with your camera." Shone, "And you still talk too much when I'm trying to focus." And just like that, their love found its rhythm again. Not as fireworks, but as sunlight through the curtains. Warm, simple, and real. Years later, one photo becomes famous. A picture of two pairs of shoes side by side facing the sea. The caption reads, "Love doesn't need to be loud to last." It's displayed in museums, printed in books, shared across the world. But only they know the truth. Those shoes belong to Nam and Shone, taken during one quiet evening by the beach. Do you ever think about the first time we met? Every time I close my eyes. Their story doesn't end with a wedding, or a dramatic kiss, or some fairy tale finale. It ends with something far more powerful, a feeling that endures. Because love, real love, isn't about forever. It's about now. It's about being there when the other person needs you most. And for Nam and Shone, that was enough. Back then, it started with rain. Now, it ends with rain. But this time, they're standing together. No longer waiting, no longer wondering. Just living. Epilogue, years later. A few years pass. A little girl runs around a photography studio holding an old camera. "Daddy, Mommy, look, I took a picture." "Let me see." "Oh, you've got Shone's eye for beauty, and your mother's stubbornness." The story begins again, in the smallest things. A smile, a photo, a love that never really ends. Maybe that's the truth of it. That love doesn't need to be perfect, or timed right, or even understood. It just needs to be felt. In the little things, in the courage to wait, in the beauty of growing up and still believing. Because sometimes the smallest thing called love is actually the biggest thing we'll ever know. Thank you for listening to Thai Movie Review and Spoil. This was a heavy one, a story that leaves you with a lot to think about. What are your thoughts on the film? Which scene has stayed with you all these years? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. That's all the time we have for today. Until next time, goodbye.